So, good morning. My name is Laura Jimena Gomez, and today we are going to talk about a famous book wrote with Lawrence. The book is Lady Chatterley's Lover. So, Lady Chatterley's Lover is a book that shows us the conflict of the First World War, and it's set in England. Also, it tells the story of Clifford and Connie Chatterley and their sterile marriage, which ultimately leads her to have an affair with a low social class man. Also, the book was wrote by Lawrence in 1920. So, David Herbert Lawrence was an English writer and poet. His work represents a reflection upon the dehumanizing effect of modernity and industrialization. Some of the issues Lawrence explored are sexuality, emotional health, vitality, spontaneity, and in Sick Lawrence earned many enemies, and he endured official persecution, censorship, and misrepresentation. Also, he spent in a voluntary exile he called his savage pilgrimage. He cultivated virtually all literary genres, being a realistic writer in modernist style. So for many years he was insulted in his country where his writing was considered as a pornographic because of the importance he placed on sex in his work. So when he died, his reputation was that a pornographer. Forster challenged um, this wide view, describing him as the great imaginative novelist of modernist generation. This novel raises heckles in the English-speaking world. It employs profanity, sex, infidelity, lacks of loyalty, guilty, fear. So, describes sex and organs, and its message is the idea that sexual freedom and sensuality are far more important, more authentic than intellectual life. So, about the book, Connie is a woman of the upper middle class, married at age 23 with Clifford Chatterley, who is sent a month later to the war and returns paralytic because of the war, of course. Clifford is dedicated to writing and is considered a successful writer. So Clifford paraplegia causes Connie to move away from him and she begins to yearn for real human contact. For that reason, she decides to hire a nurse to take care of her husband. Clifford suggests to Connie that he would like her to have a child with a man of the same class and that they take care of him, but she doesn't think it's right, of course. Later, Connie meets Oliver Mellors, the ranger of the Clifford estate. She's attracted to the nobility and grace of the man, and they begin to have sexual encounter in one of the caves on the forest. Also, she becomes pregnant and falls in love with Mellors. Connie travels to Venice on vacation, and when she returns, Mellors has been fired for negative rumor from his wife. Connie tells Clifford that she is pregnant, but she doesn't tell him who is the baby's father. In take the opportunity to ask him to start the divorce process. So, uh, time later, Evie discovers the romance between Connie and Mellors, and she is in charge of telling a Clifford as a part of a revenge for the death of her husband. Connie was locked in a problem of love. She had to decide between having a life full of comfort and luxury with her husband or living with the love of her life and who was involved. Finally, Connie decides to live with Oliver Mellors wherever some difficulties arise in their relationships. And Connie thinks that Mellors doesn't love her or whatever. She saw She shows her his love facing Clifford and she takes the opportunity to ask him to divorce. Clifford refuses to give him a divorce and shouts at them that the son they are going to have will be a bastard. But finally, Connie managed to convince Clifford by reminding him of the good man he was. And so Clifford changed his mind and tells that he will give her a divorce. In the end, Constance and Meliors start a new family. So it was a book that was banned for many years because of its strong content in an eroticism, although it is currently a book that doesn't generate a strong impact in our society. It is a story that reflects the false aristocracy of the English church and society of the time. It is a story that shows a contrast of different social classes and living conditions. The basis of the plot is the identity of the protagonist and her effort to maintain her upper class position. If we make a comparison of England from 1920 to current England, we can see how infidelity has changed perspective for human beings. It is an issue that is no longer considered a taboo, nor does it affect the social class or economic position of people. Gradually, social classes have been disappearing and men have evolved to such an extent that sexual relations can occur at any time and it's not frowned upon by society. So, from my point of view, I consider the book should never have been banned since it shows a reality that has happened for a long time, but that the upper social class hide so that they are not discovered the courage of the protagonists. The markets a line between the past and the present shows the difference of a living an ethical and correct life, with a life of romance, and the end of the story, love knows down any social class. So I don't want to say that it's a good to do, but neither, if it were my case, would I undergo a marriage relation just for respecting a social class. Mm, the question that we must ask ourselves in how many women live in our time price to have a good home, but in the infinitive, bitterness, and sadness? That's a good question. Also, finally, I want to invite you to read the book because really it's a great book and can give you a lot of ideas about the modernity and about the social class and about the conflicts in the war, in the life in England, and also it is it. Thank you so much.